Yeah. Here.
And Mr. Davis,
Here.
Ms. Pena, not in attendance. Mr. Richardson, not in attendance. Mr. Heflin,
Here.
Mr. James,
Here.
Mr. Watkins.
Here. Okay, we have quorum. For the pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's salute the flag and spread back to it, with leading civil, perfect relationships among the united waters. Thank you. I'll give you a second to review the minutes and then I'll ask for approval or changes. I make a motion to approve the minute. Motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a second. All in favor? Say by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Minutes carry. Okay, first item of business is a public hearing for resolution 2022, 2023, 27, a resolution providing a replat at 1708, 1712, and 1716 North Avenue K, submitted by Junior Davis. I will need action to go into a public hearing, please.
So, second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Heflin,
Yes.
Mr. James.
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
We're now in public meeting. Kelly, do you want to start by updating us on this one?
Yes, sir. So this is a replat within the city limits. It is one big piece of property that has 3 individual mobile homes on it that are addressed already. They're looking to split it into 3 different lots, so each home will have its own lot. The reason it has to come before you today is they do not meet the minimum widths required for an R1. The area, 6,000 square feet they meet, but their widths are going to be about 50 feet for 2 of them, about 55 feet for the third. We sent this out to all the property owners and utilities. Let's see, we had 3 for, and 1 no opinion from property owners, and 2 for from utilities. If you have any questions, I'd like to be able to answer them for you at this time.
What is the width minimum?
60 feet.
60.
So that's supposed 60 by 100. They're lacking in their width, but they make up for it in their length.
So he just went and put these on there. Not doing it correctly, and because it's only supposed to be a single resident, and he put 3 residents on there.
I know they've been there for quite a while, so I'm not sure if it predated those zonings, but I'm aware it's been.
Pretty sure those have been on there for years
Yeah.
and years and years.
Any other questions for Kelly? To the public, if you would like to speak for or against this will be the time. If you'd like to speak, you'll have to get sworn in, please. So I'll take any public comment for this variance. Now I will take public comment for against this variance. Is seeing none. I'm asking, I'll need a motion to exit our public hearing. I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion in a second. Roll call vote, please.
Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Heflin,
Yes.
Mr. James.
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
We're now exited out of public hearing. I'll need a motion to approve or deny this variance.
Can you discuss it?
Or I guess you can still discuss it after the first and second.
Are we gonna make I mean, if we do this, then anybody that comes before us from now on will say, oh, you did it for them. Are you gonna do it for everybody? Are we setting a precedent if we vote for the variance?
This one's for a replat.
For replat, yeah, but it's a replat, but it's a change in what our code says. And are we ready to open that can of worms?
So if we say no, then what happens?
They would be unable to split the property as is. They'd have to rather reconfigure it to meet the minimums. Or come back to they can appeal, I think they can ask for an appeal and then go to city council.
But I guess my question is, it's been there long enough, they would not be forced to move or change at this point unless they made a change.
Yes, we wouldn't allow new ones to come in, but we wouldn't remove the ones that are currently standing.
So to actually. Yeah. Change it up, they could split it into 2 instead of 3 and still make it, but they cannot do it in 3 as it is.
Yes, ma'am.
And I can understand it being grandfathered in. But then again, I don't know if I want to open a can of worms and say, okay, well, y'all screw
But
with
if
it.
there's 3 trailer houses and trying to split that into 2,
But I'm gonna tell you, no, you can't do that right now, but I'm gonna tell you, if anything happened in the future. They could take one off. And they could split it into 2. And still make the minimums. But you said these have been there for a long time.
I'm guessing they've probably been there 20, 25 years. And I think they're all rental properties.
Currently, yes. I know his intention is to sell them as individuals.
So, to me, 20, 25 years is not that old. I'm sure these were in place at that time.
Any other further discussion? Therefore, I will need a motion to approve or not approve this replat. Resolution 2022-2023-27.
If we vote to approve this, what is there, how many other properties in the city? Do we not have a number of those that it might affect Beverly? Is there?
I would
somebody
think there
pointed out?
would be. I don't know if we know a number right now.
I wouldn't be able to give you an accurate.
But every property would still have to get a replat, and we can discuss those properties when those come up.
Yes, anyone that did.
Just don't set a standard for the city.
Yeah, any ones that did meet the minimums would still have to come in front of this council.
And that's only if they were gonna replat or,
Only if they're replatting and it doesn't meet, we have an administrative list of what they can approve, but if they don't meet the minimums, they automatically have to come to this council for approval.
And your argument is gonna be, well, you did it on the other one.
but those circumstances might be different. Was
How so would they be different? Because if they don't meet.
based on time that's in there or, I don't know, other factor, the amount of distance between or something like that.
Mhm.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this.
There a motion on the floor to approve.
I'll second.
We have a second. Roll call vote, please.
Bennett,
No,
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Heflin,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Mr. James.
Yes.
I have it as it passes. We will send this on to city council for their approval.
Until July 11th.
July 11th. Thank you. On to the next item. Public hearing for resolution 2022, 2023, 28. A resolution providing for a variance at 1302 Cannon Boulevard to engage in a C1 activities submitted by Linebrook Homes LLC. I will need that action to go into a public hearing, please.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Davis,
Yes.
Bennett,
yes,
Yes.
Yes.
We're now in public hearing. Kelly, would you update us on this, please?
Yes, sir. So this is a variance that is submitted from Alta Terra. It's that red barn where they run their rentals out of. According to the ordinance, you can do commercial uses necessary to provide the day-to-day shopping needs and services for that neighborhood. If it has been on the development plan. So now that facility is doing rentals in Portales and in Clovis. So it goes from being something allowable in the PZ to a C1. So they just need the variance to do C1 in a PZ zone. There was no problems. They've been doing it before this. And they've had, but when they went to renew their business registrations, we realized that they had branched out. So we had to bring it through this council for approvals. This one is a little different because we sent out 10 letters to the surrounding properties. 8 of those properties are owned by the applicant themselves. So we just combined them into one letter. And then we sent the others, non-applicants. We had one property owner that was for it. And then we had 2 public utilities that were for it. And we had no protests and no one called in with any questions. You have any questions for me? I'd like to answer them at this time.
And this variance stays with this company on the property, and if they
Yes, ma'am.
change it, they'll have to come back. and
Yes, if they change the nature of the business, ownership or anything like that,
they'll come back.
they'll have to come back. If it's not for that immediate community. Because you can do day-to-day shopping needs and services for the community, but if it's outside the community, then it needs to come to the planning commission.
Okay, any other questions? You can't, council. Okay, this time I'll take public input for or against this resolution. If you would like to talk, please stand and be sworn in. There's seeing none, I'll need a motion to exit public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I have a motion and a second, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
yes,
Mr. Heflin,
Yes. We're exiting a public hearing. Any further discussion? Seeing that there is none, what's the pleasure of the council?
Make a motion, we approve.
second,
We've got a motion and a second, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Bennett,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Heflin,
Yes.
Mr. James.
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
yes,
Resolution passes. On to item C. Public hearing for resolution 2022-2023-29. A resolution providing for a variance at 420 West Second to allow automotive assembly, rebuilding, or reconditioning in a C2 zone submitted by Everlasting Income, Inc., DBA Southwest Write-In. I will need a motion to go into a public hearing.
so moved,
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Heflin,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
yes,
Mr. James.
Yeah.
We're now in a public hearing. Kelly,
So this variance is submitted, this is for the property right across from McCarty's, where it used to be, I believe, the Chuck Wagon. So what it is they are in a C2 zone. The applicants want to do automotive assembly, rebuilding and reconditioning, which needs to be in an M1 zone. So they're submitting for this variance to be able to do that at that location. They expressed to me in emails, they're really looking into reconditioning and working on show cars, getting them back to show quality. They did say on their application that they will make sure the property remains visually pleasing and there's no eyesore or junk will be present. It would be my recommendation to put that in as part of if approved, that you can have basic mechanic stuff there, because that is allowed in that zone, but anything that goes to frames or junk or that type of stuff not be allowed, and that be a condition of your approval if you choose to approve. We sent it out to 6 property owners and then the 5 utilities. We received 2 4s for property owners and then 2 4s for the public utilities. And no one expressed any concerns. And if you have any questions, I'd like to answer them for you, ma'am.
So they will be able to do all their work inside that building and not keep their tools and frames and stuff
They
outside?
They do have a garage that they can do their work in. We couldn't, if we approve this, we couldn't be any more restrictive than we do for general mechanics because it allowed in that zone. But anything like frames, scrap metal, things that you wouldn't see in your everyday mechanic, you could restrict from being stored outside.
How is this different from the group that was prior? Do we know?
You can do general mechanic stuff, so, but you can't do stuff that would be for salvage yards where it's a lot of junk or framework, something you wouldn't see, you wouldn't take to a regular mechanic. This is taking a broken down show vehicle and doing the whole process of repainting, replacing the insides to make it show quality again. So it's a little more manufacturing than your general retail that mechanics do.
And me and Kelly did discuss today, we'd use code enforcement to enforce the regulations that we set.
And we are waiting so that they haven't gotten written permission proving that they own the property or that the owner is acceptable to this. So this would be congruent on them being able to provide that they're in the process of buying it, but that the current owner is okay with this variance being approved.
Any further questions for Kelly? Great. I'll now take public comment for or against this resolution. Thank you. I'll need a motion to exit public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion in a second. Roll call vote, please.
Bennett,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Heflin,
Yes,
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
now we're out of public hearing, further discussion.
I do think we need to put something in there about how it looks on the outside and it being maintained.
I agree.
So I guess we can approve the motion with the exception of seeing the code enforcement part of it. That's how that would be read. I agree. with it. Yeah. That way it's in the minutes and it's passed that way through here. Okay. So I'll need a motion on how you wanted to word that.
You say that again, you need a motion.
Well, we can emotion, you can adjust the emotion. You say motion to resolution this with code enforcement adoption. I guess that's how you read it, to approve it with code enforcement.
Okay. I would make a motion that we approve it with code enforcement's involvement to make sure that there is no visible parts.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll second.
Got a motion in a second. Roll call vote, please.
Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Heflin,
Yes,
Mr. James.
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
motion passes. On to item D. Item D, public hearing for resolution 2022-2023-30. A resolution providing for a variance at 1205 North Avenue O to allow 2 residents in an R1 zone submitted by Adelia Montano, I guess is how you say it. Oh, yeah, okay, and then I need action to go into a public hearing, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, roll call vote.
Bennett,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Heflin,
Yes,
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
Kelly?
So this variance at 1205 North Avenue O is for multifamily use. It is zoned as an R1 which allows instinctually for the single family residential. They would like to do 2 homes on that piece of property, which they would need a variance for. We sent it out to 8 property owners and 5 utilities. We didn't receive anything from property owners, but we received 2 4s from the public utilities. It is a large piece of land. So with 2 residences, it would still fit the setbacks we require for houses. So that part, their plot plan, all that's okay, if they can get this variance. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
And this is the one where they're moving that mobile home in, or is this already there?
Yes, there's already a home there.
There's already a home there and they're moving another one on.
No, so the second home is already there. I don't believe they knew they needed the permit. Someone called it in, so they're doing this permitting process now. And I did drive through the area and there are quite a few multi-residences in the R1 down there. Already sitting, even though it's all R1. A large
Nice.
majority of them do have 2 residences there.
Where is the one?
Any public comment for or against this resolution? Sure, absolutely. Could you stand up and get sworn in, please? Yeah, oh, yeah, you can. That'd be great.
She's gonna read something, make you put your hand up.
Please state your name,
Charles Pice?
please raise your right hand. Do you swear to affirm that you will testify truthfully here in the penalty of law?
Yes. The only question that I have is that house that's already put onto that property, is it already being living in? Is there already somebody living in there? Or did they just? I just heard that they got a call in, they just found out they needed a permit. Is there already a resident there? Are they gonna have to be back, like taken out of there if it doesn't go through, or?
I know it was called in as it was put there.
Mhm.
If they've already started living in there, I'm not aware of that.
Okay, that was my only question or concern. If anyone was living there on the second house that they just put in, that was just my only question and concern.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Need a motion to exit public hearing, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Roll call vote.
Ms. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Heflin,
Yes.
Mr. James.
Yeah.
Mr. Watkins,
yes.
We're now in a public hearing. Any further discussion?
So here we go. This one's coming and it wants to do on one.
But they said they make the setbacks though. On this.
They meet setbacks, but it's still, they're not asking for a variance. On the other one was a replat.
Right? So what's what are you saying the difference would be?
What I'm saying is. It's a single family residence. It's a single family lot. Single family is 1, not 2.
As I understand it, yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So they're gonna do whatever they want to, and they're gonna come in here and they're gonna ask, oh, well, everybody else does it. They're all out there like that. And this wasn't done 20 years ago. This was done just a few days ago. And we wonder why that area of town maybe looks like it does.
We know how much distance there is between the mobile home and the other structure, 1205.
Yes, so in your packet, they submitted their plot plan. Let's see real quick, if I can get you the exact.
Is that the 60-foot that it shows?
Yes, let me double check myself, make sure I'm not lying to you. But yeah, it'll be 60 feet from the back of their mobile home to the garage that they have on the property behind the residence that's already addressed at 1205 North Avenue.
So is the 1205 North Avenue O, is that a permanent structure that's been there all along and they
Yes, that is
moved?
the house that is being currently resided in.
And then to enter the mobile home, they're gonna come off of Lime Street.
They're gonna be addressed off North Avenue.
The mobile home under 10 years old?
I have not seen it as of yet,
Because that could be an issue.
but they do have to go through RLD. Who goes through that and regulates all that for us. This would just be if they can actually put it there.
Are you saying that this one would need to be split into two properties? Or,
Yeah, if they want to, because I'm gonna tell you, it's a real estate nightmare.
But wouldn't it be better, if they would only have to separate it into two properties, right? If they decided to sell it? One property, then that's when they would have to come back and get it broken up into two.
Whatever, but I'm gonna tell you, this is a nightmare for anybody who's trying to sell real estate. And it's a nightmare if you own it and you're wanting to sell it. It's fine, I guess, if you've got the money and you're wanting to put all your family in one place. But it doesn't fit within our guidelines, and there is a reason for that. You know. That side of town can look good if we just quit letting them do whatever they want to. You know, let's have a little plan here. We've got plans here. Come and talk to us before you do stuff. I mean, it's a nightmare.
Any further discussion?
How do you think that the full board will look at this?
Council? I would think they were gonna just take our recommendation on it. Whatever it would be. I think we'll have more of a problem when they start trying to divide it up and trying to sell it, but I guess there's enough room there if they could do that. But if they're never gonna do that, I mean. But I don't think there'll be a problem. I mean, whatever this council recommends is what the council will probably end up doing.
Personally, I think they need to come in here and act with a different plan. You know, I think they need to either come in here and get it replatted or something else, but what they're doing right now by throwing it on there and saying Hail Mary. It's not feasible. It's okay for right now, but it's not okay in the future. It's not okay down the road.
We don't have to approve this right now. We could table it. But does that just kick the ball down the road, kind of kick the can down the road thing?
Well, I have a real interest on the age of the trailer or the age of the mobile home. Because if it's older than 10, it should have never been brought in anyway.
Okay.
I think that's still correct, isn't it?
Yeah, New Mexico Regulations License Division has a mobile home division that we handle where it is, that kind of stuff, and then they handle the wiring and the age of the mobile home.
Right, because that is not going to be handled like a permanent residence. So when you go to sell it, it's another nightmare. So it's.
has this one already been hooked up to electricity and everything, or has it just been moved in?
I believe it's just been moved in, because we haven't given them an address yet, which usually they need for their sewer and water tap will be an address for the city.
And see, you don't know if they bought it off an individual, you don't know if they, probably not HomeSpot, probably not any HomeSpot would have. Caught this or whatever, you would hope, but you don't know where that mobile home.
I would like to answer some of those questions.
Okay.
I find this different from the one we looked at earlier simply because. Everything we looked at earlier had been there 25 plus years probably. Doesn't make it right, but it's also makes it very difficult to walk in and say, oh, you can't do that. You gotta move. One of those.
So I think it would be wise maybe to have a motion to table. To get further information for the next meeting. Or postpone to the next meeting. That could be our motion instead of deny and approve.
I would make, is it okay to
Yeah.
make, I would make the motion that we table this until more information can be gathered. As to the age and
You get that, Kelly, great. I have a motion to table.
Second.
Motion is second. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Bennett,
Yes.
Davis,
yes,
Franklin,
Yes,
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Watson.
Yes.
motion passes as a table, and I'll just let the council know that this will be on our next agenda after more information is made. But I would let you know, Kelly, you might let the homeowners know that they just better slow down right now. Because they don't want to get too far involved
Okay,
and then something else comes up.
so-
Thank you. On to item E. Public hearing for resolution 2022-2023-31. A resolution providing for a variance at 1602 East Elm to allow two residents in an R1 zone submitted by Charles Fuller and Abigail Acosta. I will need a motion to go into a public hearing, please.
So moved.
Second.
Can I have a roll call vote?
Ms. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Heffron,
Yes.
Mr. James.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Okay, we're now in a public hearing. Kelly?
Perfect. First, I wanted to check, is anyone Charlotte Fuller, Abigail Acosta here? Perfect. I may lob some questions your way. All right, so,
Get them sworn in case they need to talk, or what do you
yes,
think?
please swear me real
Okay.
quick.
And we get that out of the way right now, so. we can-
My name is Charlotte. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to affirm that you will testify truthfully and the penalty of law? I do.
And then,
Do you please state your name, Abigail Wilson? Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to affirm that you will testify truthfully and the penalty of law?
so this is going to be similar to the last one, but a little bit different. So this application is for two residences in an R1 zone. However, and I will jump to them if I'm incorrect, there's already two residences there. They're going to be pulling off the old manufactured home and replacing it with a new one in the exact location. But for the permits, because it is two residences on a single family residential, they do need to go through this and get their variance. We submitted it to 6 property owners and 5 public utilities. We received 1 property owner for it and 1 public utility for it. We received no protest or anything against it. And then they are here if you guys have any questions, but if you have any questions I can answer, I'd be happy to do so.
This is the one where what is the year of the new, or is it a new mobile home?
2023.
Perfect, thank you.
And the one that's on it right now is 2024.
Okay,
No, it's
And
not.
I would say, yeah, 2004.
okay,
I bought it in 3, I bought it in 4 from Home Spot.
Okay.
And they moved it in. I already had the single. It's
We're gonna add on to the previous one.
to the previous mobile home. And we have made it into a grandma's apartment. I live in it. I've lived in it since, I don't know how long. Yeah, 2018. I bought the property in 1988. And that addition was put on in 1992 when my daughter graduated from high school. That's her graduation present from her father.
okay.
So whenever I bought the 2003 and 2004, we separated the addition from the single wide because I used it as a trade-in.
Mhm.
And HomeSpot, I guess, went through all of the channels and everything, because they're the ones that moved in 2004 on the same property. So
And that area was semi-messed with the annexation when Walmart came in.
when I first moved out there, we were annexed in
Oh, to the city.
to the city
Right.
back to 1988.
Okay.
But I don't remember exactly when we were annexed in.
And we're also planning on putting the new mobile home on a permanent foundation, so it's not gonna be movable. It's gonna be.
That property has been in our family since before 1988, because before that, it was owned by Wilson and Wilson Roofing and roofing out of Clovis, Martha and Vince Wilson, and we bought the property from them. So that property has been in our family since before 1988, and I bought it from them.
Any other questions for the homeowners or for Keller? Take action on exiting the public hearing, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Heffron,
Yes,
Mr. James.
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
they were on a public hearing. Any further discussion on this? What would be the pleasure of the council?
Is this gonna be just like this last one? With,
Well, this one, I think we know a little bit more.
This one, we know that it was grandfathered in.
Mm.
When the city, when the city annexed it, it was out in the country, correct?
Yes, sir.
So when it came in with 2 on it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And it always goes to a R1 when it comes in.
Yes, ma'am. Unless zone change is applied during the annexation, which no, it's not here.
Okay, any other further discussions? I'm asking for a motion to approve or deny this variance.
I'll move for approval.
One second.
Have a motion in a second. Roll call vote, please.
Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Heflin,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Mr. Watson.
Yes.
Okay. I will send on this to council as a recommendation to approve this variance. Kelly, any other business that might be coming up in front of us?
No, it's been a plan.
Anything here? Motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You're adjourned.